The storm outside was loud and wild. Wind howled through the trees. Rain slammed against the metal walls of the small house. Thunder rolled like the voice of an angry god. But inside the house, everything was quiet. Logan sat near the fire staring into the flames. He liked the silence. He had lived alone for many months now. No people, no trouble. Just peace. Logan was a human. Once he was a soldier. Now he just wanted to forget the war. He lived far away from the cities, on a lonely alien world, cold and dark, where few dared to stay. Then came the knock. Knock, knock. Logan sat up straight. He hadn't heard that sound in weeks. Nobody visited him. There were no neighbors, no patrols, no friends. He reached for the blaster under his chair. Another knock. Knock. Slow, weak, not like someone attacking. It was more like someone asking. Logan moved to the door. His boots were heavy against the floor. He peeked through the small screen, but saw nothing. Then he opened the door. And there she was. Girl, alien, young, soaked in rain, shaking from the cold. Her skin was pale purple, her eyes large and silver. Her body was thin, too thin. Like she hadn't eaten in days. She wore torn clothes and had a small pack tied to her waist. Chains were around her wrists, thin metal bands that hung loose but looked strange. She looked up at him. Her lips moved. She spoke in a soft, broken voice. I can cook. I can clean. I can be quiet. Then her legs gave up and she dropped to her knees. Logan didn't know what to do. He stared at her, then looked out into the storm. No one else was around. No ships in the sky. No lights in the forest. Just her. He cursed under his breath and stepped aside. Come in, he said. The alien girl crawled inside. Logan closed the door and locked it. She sat on the floor, her body shaking. Logan took a blanket from the chair and gave it to her. She wrapped herself in it like a small child. What's your name? Logan asked. She looked at him. Her eyes were wide with fear. I don't have one anymore, she whispered. Logan blinked. No name? She shook her head. I lost it when I was sold. That made Logan go still. He didn't ask more questions. Not yet. Instead, he made some warm food, a simple stew. As it cooked, the girl stood up and without a word began to clean his table. Then the floor. Then the dishes. She moved fast and careful, like she had done it 100 times before. You don't have to do that, Logan said, but she didn't stop. She just gave a small nod and kept working. Later, when she sat and ate the stew, she ate like she hadn't eaten in days, maybe longer. Logan watched her. She didn't speak unless spoken to. She didn't ask for anything. Not even a name. Just kept her eyes low and hands busy. That night, Logan gave her the small couch to sleep on. She curled up under a warm blanket, silent as a shadow. Before he turned off the lights, Logan looked at her one last time. She was already asleep, but her fingers still held the edge of the blanket tight, like she was afraid it might be taken away. Logan didn't sleep much that night. He kept hearing her words in his mind. I can cook. I can clean. I can be quiet. Those words weren't normal. They were trained. Like someone had made her say that over and over, until it became the only way she knew how to ask for help. The storm outside kept roaring, but inside, something else had arrived. Not just the girl, but a mystery. Who was she? Where had she come from? And why did she seem so afraid to speak her truth? Logan didn't know the answers, but he was sure of one thing. Her story wasn't over. It had just begun. She wasn't there when he woke up. Logan sat up on his bed fast, his heart pounding. The couch was empty. The blanket lay folded, neat and untouched, like no one had ever used it. The fire had burned low in the night. Cold air filled the room. Outside, the storm had finally stopped, but the silence now felt wrong. He grabbed his jacket and the small knife under his pillow. Quietly, he moved across the cabin. Then he heard something. Not footsteps, not breathing. It was humming, a soft tune. Low, gentle, almost like a lullaby. He followed the sound to the small kitchen and froze. The alien girl was standing near the counter, cooking. Not just heating food, actually cooking. She was using the little tools, stirring a pot, even cutting some root vegetables he had stored. Her hands moved with strange skill, smooth and careful. She hadn't seen him yet. She was wearing his oversized shirt, rolled up at the sleeves. Her hair was still damp from last night. The chains on her wrists clinked softly as she moved. Logan stood in the doorway, watching in silence. Finally, she noticed him. She turned and bowed her head slightly. "Good morning," she said softly. "I hope I made it right." Logan raised an eyebrow. "You cooked this?" She nodded. "You had supplies." "I used only a little. Did I say you could?" "No," she said, eyes dropping to the floor. "I'm sorry. I just wanted to be useful." That word hit him like a punch. Useful. Like that was her value. Like that was the only reason. She thought he let her stay. He stepped forward. "Sit. Eat with me." She looked shocked. "Me? Yes, you. I don't eat alone when someone else is hungry." They ate together in silence. The food was good, better than what he usually made. He didn't say that out loud, but she smiled as if she knew. After breakfast, Logan asked, "How did you learn to cook like that?" "I was trained," she said quickly. "Trained for what?" She paused. Her fingers gripped the edge of the table. "To serve," she whispered. "To cook clean. And keep quiet." Logan's jaw tightened. He didn't like the sound of that. "Who trained you?" Her lips trembled. She shook her head. "I'm not allowed to say if I speak." "Go find me." Logan leaned back, eyes sharp now. "Who's they?" She didn't answer. Instead, she stood and began cleaning the table again, her back straight, movements perfect, too perfect, like she wasn't cleaning. She was performing. That's when he saw it on the inside of her wrist. Under the chain, a mark, a symbol burned into her skin. Small, round, almost hidden, but Logan recognized it. He had seen that brand before. It belonged to a powerful alien syndicate, a group that sold trained servants to the rich and cruel. It was illegal on most planets. But out here, in the wild sectors, rules didn't matter, and she had that mark. Logan stood and walked to the window. Outside, the sky was clear. Now. But in the distance, way beyond the trees, he saw something moving, a ship. Small, fast, not one of the colonies, not friendly. "They're looking for you, aren't they?" he said without turning around. She stopped moving behind him. Then, in a very quiet voice, she said, "Yes." "Do they know you came here?" She was silent. Then she said something that sent chills down his spine. "They don't care where I go, as long as I'm chained. They believe I'll always return." Logan turned around slowly. She looked at him, and for the first time, he saw something behind her silver eyes. Not fear, not weakness, but deep, painful sadness. She had been made into something, taught not to fight, taught only to obey, but she had run anyway. And now they were coming for her. Logan didn't know what he was going to do next. But he knew one thing. This stranger in his home was no threat. She was the one in danger, and the danger was getting closer. Logan found her outside, barefoot in the cold. It was just before sunrise. The sky was dark blue, and the ground still wet from last night's storm. She stood near the edge of the trees, her feet in the mud, arms held out, face turned toward the sky. She looked like a ghost, silent, still. "What are you doing?" Logan asked from the porch, holding a blanket. She didn't move right away. Then she spoke, her voice barely a whisper. "I wanted to remember what freedom feels like before they take it away again." Logan walked to her and wrapped the blanket around her shoulders. I'm not giving you back, he said quietly. She didn't respond. Instead, she looked up at him and asked, if a thing is broken, but still breathes, is it still a thing, or just ... trash? Logan didn't like that question. Not one bit. He said nothing and guided her back inside. Later that morning, Logan tried again. He made 2 mugs of hot synth tea and set one in front of her. She sat at the table, small and quiet, her hands shaking slightly from the cold, or maybe from something deeper. Let's start simple, he said. I'm Logan. Just Logan. She nodded slowly. I know. You said it last night. And you are? She looked down, then away. I don't have a name. You must have had one before. She shrugged. They erased it. Names make you think you're a person. They said I'm not. Logan stared at her in silence. What did they call you? They didn't. I was Unit 12. Before that, Batch 3. Logan clenched his jaw. He'd seen it before. Slave farms where living beings were raised and trained like machines. No identity. No rights. Just obedience. Well, I can't keep calling you you, he said, trying to keep his voice calm. How about Ash? She looked up, surprised. Ash? She repeated. Yeah, Logan nodded. From fire. It's quiet, soft, but strong enough to survive even when the fire's gone. Like you. She touched her chest gently. Ash. She whispered again. It sounds kind. He smiled faintly. Then Ash it is. That night, Logan noticed something strange. Ash was asleep on the couch, curled up in the blanket like before. But her lips were moving. He leaned closer and realized she was talking in her sleep. No. Not talking, reciting, over and over. Clean first, then prepare. Never eat first. Always kneel. Eyes down, hands open. Pain is the correction. Logan's stomach turned. He had seen soldiers broken by war, but this was different. This wasn't fear. This was programming. Someone had drilled these words into her mind like commands. Someone had hurt her and called it training. Logan stepped away and stood near the window. Outside, the stars had returned to the sky. But his peace was gone. Ash wasn't just some runaway. She was a survivor of something cruel, and whoever had done this to her wasn't done looking. Just before dawn, Logan found something else. Her small bag had fallen open. Inside, wrapped in cloth, were 3 things. A broken earpiece with dried blood on it, a tag with strange alien letters, and a tracker device low on power, but blinking. Logan cursed. Someone could follow this. He grabbed his tools and crushed the tracker into useless pieces. Ash woke up when he returned. She sat up fast, her eyes wide with fear. What did you do? It was a tracker, Logan said. They could have found you. But now they'll know I broke it, she whispered. That makes me dangerous to them. You already were, Logan said. She looked at him, uncertain. No more running, he added. If they come here, I'll deal with them. Ash's voice shook. You don't understand. They don't just punish the servant. They punish anyone who hides her. Logan didn't flinch. Then let them try. For the first time, Ash didn't look down. She looked at him, truly looked, and something in her eyes changed. Not hope. Not yet, but the first spark of it. Asterisk. Ash was screaming in her sleep. Logan rushed to her side, shaking her gently. Ash! Wake! Up, it's just a dream. Her eyes snapped open, wide and glassy with fear. She kicked away the blanket, her breath sharp, chest rising fast like she had been drowning. They cut him, she cried. They said I didn't obey, so they cut him. Logan grabbed her shoulders. Ash, who? Who did they hurt? She froze. Tears streamed down her cheeks. Her lips trembled. I'm sorry, she whispered. I wasn't quiet enough. So they punished the other servant. Logan felt something tighten in his chest. Not fear. Rage. He wrapped a blanket around her again and sat beside her. You're safe now, he said. You don't need to carry their punishments anymore. But Ash didn't speak again. She just sat there, eyes staring at nothing. The next day, Logan needed answers. He waited until Ash was calm again. Then he asked, "Tell me what happened, the truth." "I can't help if I don't know." Ash hesitated. Then, slowly her voice came out like broken glass. "I was trained by the House of Red Rings. You know it?" Logan nodded grimly. "Illegal. Dangerous. They sell people like furniture." Ash looked down. "I was part of a batch. 12 of us, all girls. All trained to serve humans." That made Logan pause. "Why humans?" "Because humans are hard to read, not like other races. The buyers said we needed to know human rules, what you like, what you hate, what makes you interested." Logan clenched his jaw. "That's why you knew how to cook my food," she nodded. "They studied humans. Taught us patterns, smiles, eye contact. Even how to stand still for hours." Her voice dropped. "They sold us like gifts. To rich houses. To war generals. To trade bosses. I was meant to go to someone important. But on the way, one of the guards tried to." She stopped her. Hands curled into fists. She couldn't finish the sentence. Logan didn't push her. He didn't need to. Later, Logan went outside to clear his head, but when he looked up, he saw a small drone flying high, circling above the trees. Not military. Not colony security. Private. Silent. Watching. He quickly went back inside. "We don't have time," he said. "They're scanning the area." Ash's face went pale. "It's them, I know it. How many would they send for one girl?" Logan asked. Ash looked away. "I wasn't just for any human," she whispered. "I was promised to a human commander. Someone powerful. A deal between him and the syndicate." Logan froze. "A commander? From which force?" "I don't know. They never said. Just called him the buyer." Logan narrowed his eyes. That title didn't sound like someone looking for a servant. It sounded like someone looking for property. That night, Logan sat near the window, holding his rifle. Ash sat on the floor, fixing a cracked cup with glue. Her hands were calm, steady. He turned to her. "Why didn't you run farther? To the city? To the port?" Ash smiled, just a little. "I didn't want to run anymore," she said. "I was tired. I just wanted someone to open a door." Logan looked at her. And in that moment, he realized something. She hadn't come to hide. She had come to find out if she was still worth saving, and she was. He was sure of it. The knock on the door this time was not soft. It was hard. Boom. Boom. Logan stood still, one hand already on his sidearm. He didn't need to look outside to know this was no traveler. No friendly face. Ash was in the kitchen, holding a bowl of water. The sound made her drop it. The bowl shattered. Her hand started shaking. Her lips moved, but no sound came out. "They're here," she whispered. Logan nodded once and moved toward the door. This time, he didn't open it right away. He called out instead, "Who is it?" A voice answered. Deep, cold, confident. "Just a search, routine colony check. Open up." But there were no routine checks on this side of the forest. Logan opened a small viewing slit and saw them. 3 aliens, tall, strong, not colony security. They wore black body armor, no symbols, no badges. One had glowing red eyes. "Mercenaries." Double quotes. "Open the door, human," the leader said. "We're looking for someone, a runaway." Logan opened the door, but only partway. "Runaway?" he asked. Calm but alert. "Yes, small female. Purple skin. Young. Very dangerous. Stole property. Maybe hiding here." Logan let out a small fake laugh. "Dangerous? That sounds exciting." The mercenary stepped forward. "May we come in?" Logan shook his head. "No warrant, no entry. Colony law." The leader didn't smile. "Colony law doesn't apply to stolen merchandise." Logan's face hardened. "She's not merchandise." That made all three mercenaries pause. The leader's eyes narrowed. "So she is here." Logan didn't reply. He simply closed the door hard, then turned the lock inside. Ash was hiding in the crawlspace under the floor. Logan had made it ready. Earlier, just in case. "Don't make a sound," he whispered. "No matter what you hear." She nodded, eyes wide with fear. Logan grabbed his rifle and took position near the window. Outside, the mercs were moving fast. One circled the cabin. Another scanned the walls. The third, the leader, was planting something on the door. "A small explosive." Logan's voice came out low, sharp. "You breach my home, you start a war." The leader looked up at the camera above the door and said, "Then let's dance, soldier." The blast shook the whole cabin. The door flew open in smoke and flame. Logan was already behind cover, firing. Merc dropped, instantly hit in the leg and shoulder. Another rushed in. But Logan kicked the table hard, slamming it into the alien's knees. The rifle barked twice more. The third, red eyes glowing, ducked into cover behind the wall. Ash stayed hidden, heart pounding. She heard shouting, footsteps. Another loud crash. Then silence. Footsteps. Getting closer. Then the trapdoor lifted. She held her breath. But it wasn't the mercenary. It was Logan. His shirt was torn. Blood on his arm. But his face was calm. "It's over," he said. Ash climbed out slowly, staring at the broken front door, the smoke, and the bodies. Logan leaned against the wall, breathing hard. "They thought you were weak," he said. "They didn't plan for someone protecting you." Ash looked at him, something unreadable in her eyes. "You could have handed me over." He didn't answer right away. Then simply he said, "I don't trade lives." But deep in the forest, far from the burning wreck of the mercenary ship, a silent drone rose into the air, recording everything. A signal was sent, and far away, across the stars, a powerful man smiled when he received the footage. "She's alive," he said, "and the human interesting." His ship began to move. The fire from the broken door was still burning when Logan stepped outside. Ash watched him from the window. He stood tall, but his shoulders were heavy. Smoke curled around him like ghosts from his past. She knew that look. It was the look of a man who had fought too many battles and knew more were coming. He wiped the blood from his arm with a rag and tossed it aside. Then he stared at the sky. "Why are you doing this for me?" Ash asked, stepping carefully out of the house. Logan didn't turn. His voice was low. "Because someone should have done it for you a long time ago." Ash felt her throat tighten. "But they won't stop," she whispered. "They'll send more. Stronger ones. I don't want you to die for me." Logan finally turned to her. "I'm not planning to die," he said. "I'm planning to end this." That evening, Logan opened a locked chest he hadn't touched in years. Inside were weapons. Not for hunting, but for war. Ash stood nearby, shocked. "You were more than just a soldier." "I was a ghost," Logan said. "Black ops, silent missions, things the galaxy pretends didn't happen." Ash stepped back. "They'll come. After you too now." He nodded. "I know. That's why we hit first." Ash's eyes widened. "You want to attack them?" "Not just them," Logan said. "The house that made you. The buyer who thinks he owns you. I want to end it at the root." "But it's too big," she said. "Too powerful." Logan loaded his rifle. "Then we make it bleed. Piece by piece." As night fell, they heard it, another ship arriving. Sleek, black, too quiet. This one didn't land. It hovered above the trees, scanning the area. Watching. Ash ran to Logan. "It's him. I can feel it. The buyer. He's here." Logan gave her a small device. "If I fall, use this. It will send your signal to a resistance group I trust. They'll protect you." Ash stared at the device, her hands shaking. "I don't want protection," she said. "I want to fight." Logan looked at her, really looked. Not a servant, not a runaway, Not a broken girl, but someone becoming whole. You sure? He asked. She nodded. I've been silent too long. Minutes later, the voice came booming from a speaker on the ship. Ash, this is your final call. Return to your owner, or watch the humans suffer for your disobedience. Ash stepped forward, lifting the old blaster Logan had given her. No, she said loud enough for the ship to hear. I'm not property. The forest fell quiet. Then, the ship opened fire. Logan tackled Ash to the ground as a laser blast lit up the trees. The ground shook. Smoke rose, but Logan was already moving, firing back, fast and sharp. Ash followed, using cover like he taught her. They moved together, 2 against many, and still, they stood. Inside the ship, the buyer watched the footage. He leaned forward in his chair, surprised. She fights now, he said. Interesting. He turned to his guards. Prepare my armor. I'm going down there myself. Back at the cabin, Logan and Ash took a breath between shots. We can't win forever, Ash said. Even if we hold tonight. I know, Logan replied. But we don't need forever. He looked her in the eyes. We just need one moment, the right one. And in that moment, Ash smiled. Not because she wasn't afraid, but because for the first time she wasn't alone. The ship landed like a god falling from the sky. Trees cracked. The ground shook. The fire in the distance flickered as the large black ship touched down just outside Logan's cabin. The noise faded and then silence. Too much silence. Ash stood beside Logan, holding the blaster tightly in her hands. Her eyes were locked on the ship's ramp, which was slowly opening. A shadow stepped out. He wasn't like the others. He didn't rush. He didn't hide. He walked tall, broad, wrapped in silver armor with red lines glowing across the chest. His face was bare. Human but cruel. Eyes sharp like blades. Logan lowered his weapon slightly. That's him, he muttered. The buyer. Asha said nothing. Her whole body froze. The man smiled at her. Unit 12, he said in a cold, smooth voice. You've caused a lot of trouble. Ash didn't answer. He stepped closer. Come now, obey your training, kneel. Logan stepped in front of her. She's not yours. The man's face darkened. You think this is about kindness, soldier? She was built for purpose. Without it, she is nothing. Ash stepped forward on her own, but she didn't kneel. She raised the blaster. I am not a unit, she said, voice shaking but clear. I am not property. I am Ash. I chose that name. I chose it because I survived. The buyer tilted his head, mocking. You think a name makes you real? Ash's eyes burned. No, but standing up to you does. Logan fired first. The buyer moved fast, too fast, but not fast enough. Ash followed Logan's lead, firing at the armored man. The shots hit his chest, but the armor held. He moved like a monster, swinging a heavy weapon. He hit Logan hard. Logan went flying, crashing into a wall. Ash screamed and ran to help, but the buyer grabbed her arm. You were trained to serve, he growled. And now you will. Suddenly, a sharp sound cracked through the air. A knife, thrown perfectly, right into the gap under the buyer's neck. Logan stood up, bloody but alive. Guess I still remember a few tricks, he said. Buyer staggered. His knees gave way. Then, finally, he collapsed. Dead. The smoke cleared. The fire died out, and the forest fell quiet again. Logan dropped to the ground, exhausted. Ash knelt beside him, tears on her face, but not from fear. From relief. From freedom. Is it really over? She asked. Logan nodded. He was the last one. The rest will scatter. No one's left to chase you now. Ash didn't speak for a while. Then she said softly, You risked everything for me. Logan looked at her. You're not a thing. You're someone. Ash smiled for the first time, really smiled. Then she took a deep breath. My name is Ash. I can cook. I can clean. I can fight. I can cry. I can dream. I am real. Logan reached for her hand, and you're not alone anymore. 1 year later, the cabin was bigger now. A second room had been added. The garden was growing. The old war tools were buried deep in a locked chest. Ash stood outside, hanging clean laundry in the sun. She wore simple clothes, but her eyes sparkled. She laughed when Logan teased her from the porch. She cooked. She cleaned. She lived, but not because she was trained to, because she chose to. And every night, when Logan turned off the lights and looked at the stars, he remembered that rainy evening, when he opened the door to a whisper and found the girl who changed everything.